Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dietmar.
Evening, Dietmar.
Hi,
Bob.
Julie. Hi, Brian. Hi, Carol. Hi, Bob. Hi, Shabnam.
So we're just looking for John, right? Everybody's here?
Mark,
Mark? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mark.
I can't hear
I'm just working
anybody.
my way down the list.
Yeah.
I was just counting, but I was counting people who weren't members here.
We might need
Oh,
Carol to
our-
step in as president pro tem.
Thing. How come I can't hear anything?
We obviously have a mute on somewhere.
I don't. Video? You cannot start your video because it's disabled by.
Okay. All right, I think we have everyone. John, do you want me to go ahead and go live?
Yeah, let's do that, Julie. Thank you.
And it's chugging along here. Okay, we are live.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate your flexibility and glad we could accommodate this meeting. This is a special meeting of the Village of Sherwood Hills Board of Trustees. Tonight is Thursday, March 13th. It's 8 p.m. We're doing this meeting virtually. Let's call the meeting to order. Julie, can you do the roll call?
I can. President Imes,
Present.
Carol Barford,
Here.
Dietmar Basuner,
Present.
Bob Falk,
Present.
Mark Lederer,
Here.
Shabnam Lutfi,
Here.
and Rob Stinky.
Present.
Thanks for that, Julie. Item 3, approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion? Dietmar, is a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Thank you, Bob. Saw yours first. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. The agenda is approved. Item 4, just want to confirm that the meeting has been properly noticed.
Yes, it has.
Julie, Brian, okay, awesome. Item 5, procedures orientation. Just want to remind folks that this meeting is also being shown on Facebook Live. If folks are watching the meeting from there, they won't be able to ask questions or receive responses from us contemporaneously, but they should send their questions to our village administrator, Brian Moody. Item 6, public comments. This is an opportunity for community members to speak to the board. No discussion or action may take place at this time, though the trustees may ask clarifying questions only. Speakers may be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comments here this evening?
Yes, yes, yes.
I hear a yes. Sam, go ahead.
Okay, I have been trying to watch all of the things going on with our contracting and what kind of things we're going to be building and when and where and how much, etc. But we now have a chance to have an example of someone in the village who was very knowledgeable of the village and its workings to do a site assessment for the DPW building. I would really like to have the opportunity to put that in place. I have no confidence in the plans that have been put to date in front of us. So this would certainly give me a lot more confidence, and I really would like to see it approved.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that. Are there other public comments this evening? Other public comments? Okay. All right, let's move on with the meeting. Item 7, board matters. For the consent agenda, item A1, approval of legal services request for proposals. Brian, do you want to speak to this before we do a motion?
Sure, John.
I don't know if we can on the consent agenda, John.
Okay, I'll move to item A1 to the, to the table, to the floor.
Thank
Uh,
thank
is
you.
there-
I
is there-
know it's a technicality, but yeah, we can.
Yeah,
For the,
Do-
yeah.
and we need a second for that, don't we?
No, you can just request that.
Okay, I just requested it.
Okay, so
Brian,
now it's on the floor.
thank you, Julie. Keep us in line. Appreciate
I
that.
try.
Brian, you want to speak to it? And I probably have a couple things to say about it as well.
Sure. The beginning of the month, upon my return to the office, I had a conference call with our village attorney, Mr. Punches, and at that time he informed me that he was going to be leaving Stafford Rosenbaum at the close of that week. In the process of that news, he also shared that they were going through a reorganization at Stafford Rosenbaum, and they had made the difficult decision to separate the contract with the village as part of a reorganizational restructuring there. So the services with Stafford Rosenbaum will remain in place for roughly 60 days. I told them I would begin the process of putting together a request for proposals for new legal services for the village. That is what you see in front of you this evening on the consent agenda for a vote and approval. If approved, I will go ahead and get that published formally tomorrow. The date on the timeline for closure will be 2 weeks thereafter. And we'll begin the interview process from there, and hopefully have something brought back before the board at our April village board meeting.
Thanks, Brian. That's helpful. I just wanted to add, I had a conversation with Matt Dregney, who was our village attorney for many, many years with Stafford. He confirmed, he's still someone involved. He's mostly retired, semi-retired. He indicated that, one of the challenges for the law firms is the kind of the prosecution function. It's usually with kind of new associates. That's been really tough for them to fill. I know when I talked to Brian about this, we're getting kind of the billable records from them for the last couple of years. So we have a good handle on, where those legal dollars were expended. They're not going to leave us high and dry. Matt said that, if we need more time, certainly if it stretches out to 90 days, there's something they're going to be able to accommodate. Well, as it's talked about in the request for proposal, there'll have to be some consideration of, they have quite a bit of files, as you can imagine. They've been our attorney for maybe back to the 80s. So there's lots of files there. So what do we want to keep and what do we want the next firm to take? That'll be another consideration. I also asked them if municipalities ever bring their attorneys in-house for this in Dane County. It was a question that I heard from Shabnam. And he said I think he only knew of 2 communities, Sun Prairie and Middleton, obviously Madison, but you don't see it with small communities. You just can't, we just can't pay the amount we'd have to pay. It just wouldn't make any sense. So those were just a couple. I had a really good conversation with Matt, enjoyed working with him. He was very valuable for us on a lot of issues over the years. And I just wanted to reach out to him and get his perspective on things. So that's all I wanted to add on that. Any other thoughts, Dietmar?
Yeah, just I guess can you expand on that in the interim? Who from Stafford will cover services for us as needed? Will it be Matt that's moving forward with this as needed?
Brian, can you speak to that? I know Matt's available, if we really need him. I think he's really more semi-retired, Dietmar.
Okay.
but you know, and he's still aware of what's going on there. Who's your main contact again, Brian, at Stafford?
I believe in the interim period here for the next 60 days, it's Rick Manthe.
Rick Manthe,
and
right.
prosecutions, that side of the legal services will remain intact as currently structured, at least as far as I've been told, through the duration of our contract.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments? Julie, get us back on track. Do you need a motion or to approve the consent agenda item?
Yep, well, actually, it's no longer consent agenda, so whatever. It's
Okay.
for approval of legal services request.
Yep. Would someone like to make a motion for approval of legal services, the request for proposal as included in the packet? Thank you, Dietmar. Did you get that, Julie?
So moved.
What?
Yeah,
So
I can't-
Approval of legal service request for proposal as presented in the board packet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
and I think I saw Carol for a second. Okay, ready to vote? Bob, go ahead. Sorry, I see your hand up.
Sorry, John, that was
No
a
worries.
technical error.
Okay, no worries. We'll cut, maybe
I was
that's your
trying to
vote.
second.
Okay, awesome. All right. Ready to vote? All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. That motion carries. Thanks, Brian, for pulling that together. I know that was, not something we expected, and I think we responded accordingly. Item 7B, new business resolutions and motions. B1, discussion possible action, Deegan space needs assessment. Brian, did you want to kick this one off as well?
Sure. So upon my return from vacation, I got briefed on the status of the board's discussion relative to the village facilities project. I understood that we left off with wanting to resume this conversation with me being present and sort of bring into account some of the new information that had also come to light and speak to that a little bit greater detail. Mr. Deegan presented this proposal to the village, to me, and I shared that with some of our facilities team group members here. Essentially what the proposals presenting to do is have Mr. Deegan do kind of a reassessment of the village space needs, looking at what FGMA put together in their space needs assessment document and final report, and see if we can, as a group, given some of the transitions within the village departmental arrangement here, take another look and just see if everything that we have in front of us can and is feasible to be achieved at the site of the current village public works and fire stations. So I think working in unison with Mr. Deegan and in my conversations with him, I think he has the abilities to help us navigate through this process, bring more accurate information back to the board for review and potential decision making. And I think this will help the village department heads go through this process a little easier and get the correct information back so everybody can make an educated decision on our best next steps.
Thanks, Brian. Questions for Brian, comments, thoughts, reactions? Dietmar.
Yeah, I guess I just want to make sure that everybody understands in the way I'm reading it. There's a phase 1 and a phase 2 component of Tom Deegan's proposal here. And we're really just signing up for phase 1. And then if there's a need or want or desire by the body to move on with phase 2, that would be a direction that's undertaken by the board. I guess me personally speaking, what I want to be very clear about, and I hope this doesn't translate to folks in the village, that this is already, that the board has come to the conclusion that the only facility solution is to try to figure out a way and a means and a method to consolidate village operations in one spot, because I'm not convinced that that's necessarily the way this will end up. And for that matter, I'd like to keep that option and that opportunity to discuss open. As I said before, I think from where I stand right now, I'm still convinced that minor renovations or facelifts or heavier renovations are really the way to go in all of this. But if this is a good first step to reassess the space program needs and assessment needs and revalidate or change and or update the program that's been put together, and the board is really looking for that information, I will not stand in that way. So for that matter, we'll support certainly the phase one component, but I want to be crystal clear that I by no means am signing up or endorsing a facility solution that tries to combine everything into one facility
Thank you.
until there's more information coming forward.
Yeah, thanks,
All right.
Dietmar. Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate that. Bob, I see your hand up.
Yeah, Brian mentioned that Mr. Deegan was going to look only at the 3-department solution at the firehouse, and I think, Dietmar, you followed up with that. My understanding and what I've seen from Mr. Deegan is that is but one option that he's looking at. I think a couple of the sketches that I saw were not a three-department solution. So I think we're getting more than what's been alluded to.
Thanks, Bob. Mark, your hand's up.
Yeah, so my understanding is that this phase of the work will be overseen and directed by the village administrator. That's what the agreement calls for. So let me just say what my expectations are, particularly if this proceeds to phase 2, if you will, the conceptual design, is that I think there are 4 options here. The only building that is being focused on here pursuant to this agreement is the fire station. And I agree with that. I think that's where we need to start. That's the linchpin. Okay. Once we figure that out, we can figure out whether we need to turn our attention to Village Hall, to the cold storage building, and so on. So that's the first point. The second point is I think there are 4 options that I can see with respect to the fire station, right? One is you can just leave Public Works there as they are currently and just renovate the facility to better meet their needs. That's one option. Second option is to bring, say, administration and Public Works into that building. A third option is Public Works and PD. And a fourth option is all 3 departments. And I think I would like to see something, some conceptual design, if it's feasible now. Now, maybe that some things just, you do the space analysis and you say it doesn't make any sense. We aren't even going to present it to the board. Or we will present it but immediately rule it out. But if that's not the case, then I would like to see those 4 options presented. It may not require the conceptual designs for all 4, but I think we should consider those 4. And at that point, I think the board will be able to make a decision, because I think there've been a range of opinions about this whole process, and we've seen that at board meetings in the past, and we're still not come together as a board. And I don't think that's particularly troublesome. I don't think we've had the information necessarily as a board to come together on this. So my expectation is, and I support this agreement, is that this will get us over the line to the point where we as a board can then decide on the direction. And then having made that decision, I hope that we will then have a town hall or devote a board meeting to communicating that to the residents so that the residents will know the direction that we're heading. I just don't feel like we have enough information to have that meeting with the residents right now, because we don't know where we're going, and we certainly don't know where we're going as a board. But I'm hopeful once this agreement, if proceeds to phase 1 and 2, that we'll be in a position as a board to communicate to the residents the direction we want to go. So having said all that, I'd like to go ahead and make the motion. And the motion being to authorize the village administrator to sign the Deegan Space Program Validation and Preliminary Agreement to review the space needs of the village department.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second to that motion? Thank you, Bob. Carol, I see your hand up.
Yes, I just following Mark's comments, I just wanted to reiterate for sure that the only thing we are approving tonight is the space needs program study. How much space do we need for the programs? That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right, we have a motion by Mark, second by Bob. For any further discussion, Mark?
Just to clarify what Carol said, I mean, what we're doing tonight, what the motion is, of course, there's no second for the motion yet, but if there's a second, what we would be voting on would be this agreement. And this agreement would, we would become obligated to follow through on the space needs study, the phase 1. But then Brian and Deegan would have to come back to the board to authorize phase 2, which then the board could decide whether it makes sense to proceed with conceptual designs or not. So
thanks for that, Mark. We do have a second in Bob Falk.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Bob.
That's right. Any other discussion? My view on this is this is low risk, and it's just in terms of the cost exposure, it's pretty detailed. It's a resident that really knows the village, knows a lot of the personalities, knows Brian, knows the staff. I think we're only going to get good information from this. It's going to help us make good decisions moving forward. So with that, ready to vote? All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. Where am I? Here we go. Motion carries. Thank you for that. Bob, is your hand up, or are you? No worries. No worries. Item 8, future agenda items. This is an opportunity for trustees to request an item be added to a future agenda. No discussion may take place on any requested items at this time, and trustees should not make lengthy statements on their request. Are there any future agenda items this evening? Okay. Julie, thank you. Brian, thank you. Motion to adjourn. Thank you, Dietmar. Is there a second? Thank you, Mark. All those in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand. Great to see everyone. If only all the meetings could go this expeditiously. All right. We will see you on the next meeting, Tuesday, March 18th at 7 p.m. Have a great weekend. We'll see some of you at the recognition dinner tomorrow night.
Yep.
Be well, guys.
Thank you,
Good night.
everyone. Have a good night.